Very good morning. We are gathered here for the inauguration of the New Delhi Rights Table of 2024 edition of New Delhi World Book Fair. I request you all to please settle down so that we can start the inaugural session. With us, we have a chairperson, Professor Milind Marathe. Then we have Jax Thomas, who's the guest director of Bologna Book Plus. We have Mr. Gareth Rapney, who's the director of London Book Fair. We have Ms. Elena Pasoli, who is the director of Bologna Children's Book Fair, and the director of National Book Trust India, Mr. Yuvraj Wale. So to begin the inaugural session, first of all, I will just request my colleague Sureka to bring in the book set. Last set, we would like to felicitate our guests. Sorry, we'll just take a minute. I request our director to kindly felicitate Elena Pasoli, the director of Bologna Children's Book Fair. Now I request our director to kindly felicitate Ms. Jax Thomas, the guest director of Bologna Book Plus. Thank you, sir. To begin the rights table, the New Delhi Rights Table, a forum that was started many years back as a rights exchange platform for publishers from India and abroad. To give the opening speech, I would request our chairperson, Professor Milind Marathe, to address us.
So, to one and all present over here, I really am thrilled about this particular event under the New Delhi World Book Fair. I will first pay my tribute to Honorable Gareth Rapney. He is a director at the Book Fair. Then Ms. Elena Pasoli, director of Bologna Children's Book Fair. She has come here and on the dais now today with us. And Jack Thomas, she's also from Bologna Book Plus, and our own director and participants who have participated in this rights table. Now, New Delhi World Book Fair, as all of you are aware, it's the biggest B2C type of a book fair. But whenever we work with the book fair, B2C category, we have not forgotten the very important role of B2B events, which will actually convert the fairs into the businesses. And that's why we have crafted these two slots, today and tomorrow, for publishers across the world, definitely from India, can be from various languages, because our theme is multilingual living tradition of India. So this is opportunity for conversion of the book fair atmosphere, different books, translation rights, different rights, and to generate business with modern technology and modern needs. Now in India, particularly after the implementation of National Education Policy 2020, we are foreseeing multifold increase in the books, which will be a supplementary reading from students from first standard to 10th standard. And if I quote rough number, it's around 36 crore school students are in India. In addition to the textbooks, they will have to use supplementary readings with implementation of national education policy. So I foresee a very huge pulse for this particular industry. So I appeal to all of you that please participate over here. I again thank you for spending your time for this program, that is the Rights Table, and I wish all the best. And I feel that these events, we are kept for 2 days, but I am sure that in coming years we will have to multiply these events because of the demand from you. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Mr. Gareth Rapley to share his views with us on the rights exchange.
Hi, good morning. It's a great pleasure to be here in India, and I'd like to thank the National Book Trust, Chairman Mr. Marathe, and Director Mr. Malik, and all of their team for welcoming me here to New Delhi over the past few days in this wonderful book fair. I think so many great things happening, such colour, very reflective of India itself and its great traditions within publishing and literature. For those that may not be aware, so I am Gareth Rapley. I am the Director of the London Book Fair, and I've been in my position now for just over 18 months. And the London Book Fair is recognised as one of the key pivotal events in the global publishing calendar, effectively the essential spring chapter, and we're very much looking forward to kickstarting the year this coming March. And I'd like to share a little bit about what that event means and how rights is at the very heart of that, and some of the things that we've learned in running the London Book Fair about rights and licensing. So the London Book Fair has happened for over 50 years, happens in the heart of London at Olympia in Kensington, and it sees over 1,000 exhibiting companies come together from across different areas of the publishing sector, those being largely within trade publishing, so fiction, non-fiction, and various elements within that. We also have a substantial children's section alongside of our academic and professional publishers as well. In addition to that, we see many countries, and we're delighted to have India represented by the National Book Trust participating this year, and very excited to be building upon that partnership for years ahead. And why I talk about these companies is this is where thousands upon thousands of meetings will take place discussing exports, rights, licensing around various forms of literature from across the globe, with over 40% of our attendance coming from international markets. So it really is a global place in which to do business and to look at both the export and the import opportunities in which you might have around your different titles, and those titles that you may be able to bring in with publishers from the large five, companies like Penguin Random House, Simon & Schuster, HarperCollins, right through to SME, independent publishers from around the world itself. We also have another area within London Book Fair that really is what you'd call the heartbeat, which is our International Rights Centre. And I think this is second only probably to Frankfurt Book Fair in terms of the scale in which we see literary agents and literary scouts come to London every single year. At the moment we have, and we're completely sold out for 2024, over 500 tables, which will be expanding as our venue completes its renovations over the next couple of years. And we should be in excess of about 600 plus tables once we're able to accommodate the sheer demand in which we have from those agents and scouts from around the world. And that Rights Centre really is a hive of activity. what you'll find within there is the agents and the scouts and some publishers that have worked tirelessly over the recent weeks and the weeks ahead, where they'll be looking towards works from their authors and publishers in which they have the rights to trade in terms of that export and import opportunities. And they will be back-to-back in 30-minute meetings throughout the 3 days. So it really is just a sheer buzz of activity in what is going on. But one of the key principles that's happening within that is the work that's going on before the fair itself. These are not just randomly selected appointments. These are appointments in which they have focused upon who they want to meet, why they want to meet them, and what they're going to discuss during those meetings to make sure those conversations can be effective as they possibly can be. And this will see, as I say, various different agents from around the world. Given that this is in London, a primary part which will be taking place is the English language element. And I know that makes up a huge part of the Indian marketplace itself as well, notwithstanding the rest of the world in terms of Anglophone and English market opportunities. So really, if you're involved in those kind of activities, then London is a great place for you to come and to do business and look to trade upon the titles and the work in which you are building upon, but also looking at those opportunities in which you can bring back here to India. And I think this is where it comes down to rights in itself, which underpins the industry really, because it's formed from that element of copyright. Obviously, copyright is that intellectual property ownership, and it's really kind of defined by the creation, or the creator, shall we say, authors, but that ever-expanding world of the content creators. And I think that's something I wanted to touch upon that we very much see again within London and our International Rights Centre and meetings that's going on. It's not just about the rights and licenses for books, but there's many other channels that's taking place and conversations to expand those rights and licenses. We've seen for many years around screen, so TV and film. You know, they're very much coming to events like London to understand what's the new books coming out. You know, the war on content in the screen industry is huge. We are very fortunate as the organiser of London Book Fair to be part of an organisation called RX, and we organise events like MIPCOM where we see the TV industry come together. And having visited that at the end of last year, they really are having a thirst for the next content because there's so many opportunities and so much demands now within TV and screen. They really look towards the book at the very heart of that as opportunities, and I'm sure that's no different here in a wonderful market like India with things like Bollywood. You know, they will be looking towards those book titles as to what may be the next film in which they produce or the next TV production in which they're looking for. And that's something, again, we're kind of seeing in other forms. So this year, as part of our programme, we're very excited to have some names that are probably more familiar maybe in the UK, but also internationally as well, where we have a TikTok star, Dr. Julie Smith, that's grown over the last couple of years, and I think she's grown to over, or close to now, 5 million TikTok followers. And that really built from coming out of COVID, her sharing her experiences as a doctor, psychologist around mental health. And she's gone on to be a bestseller in the UK, I think just surpassing 1 million copies with her first book. So it's going to be great to be able to learn from somebody like that that's built their content in a different channel. And then we also have, preceding that, a gentleman called Stephen Bartlett, who is a renowned business entrepreneur, investor, but also more recently has become a podcast. He's topped the podcast channels in both Spotify and Apple, more recently over the last year. And now he's launched that channel into a book, A Diary of the CEO, which is already a bestseller. I think sold over 500,000 copies within a few months and is being translated into 34 different countries as well. So why I'm explaining these, it goes to show the breadth in which people are looking for, but that content creation is happening in more than just the book and the author itself. And this is why when you're looking towards your rights, I think you need to, what we see is kind of consider, okay, who might be best placed to kind of have those discussions. Obviously, you know, there are publishers that are maybe stronger in other markets than some. So when you're looking for that export, you know, if that is in the UK market, what's the titles you've got? Who may you want to distribute those titles for you? Who may be the best publisher to help support you on that journey that's maybe worked with, you know, colleagues, peers, or other people that you may know? This is an industry where I think everyone knows everyone, which is very good, and help support those journeys. But also I think you need to be looking at maybe what is your author asking for, or the titles you've got, where could those extensions be? So when you're considering those rights, either primary or subsidiary, you need to be really looking at where this journey may take on from here as well. It's not just about maybe that export of book into one market or another, it's where that may go into another channel, because the world of content, I think, is ever exploding. We've seen that hugely over the last 5 years, and why I've referenced things like TikTok. I heard over the last year that TikTok is the search engine of choice for Gen Z, which is quite startling really when you consider Google has been the powerhouse of search and search engines over many years now, but that is being overtaken by the younger generations as they look towards areas like TikTok. But we also have things like podcasts, and I think that's ever increasing. I saw numbers again in the last year. I think in 4 years it's gone from like 40 million plus subscribers to over 80 million now. You know, people are looking for that, and it's a great way of storytelling. And I think that's the element, again, when you consider those rights. Books are a form of story. There are also other channels now in which that storytelling can evolve and expand and create more business opportunities for you. So I guess they're just some of the bits we've learned. I think if I could leave a lasting message, when you look at rights deals, they may not happen overnight. So if you come to fairs like London, here in New Delhi, Frankfurt, my esteemed colleagues from Bologna, you do wonderful work. That deal may take months to come to fruition. So have some patience. I think it's understand who you're doing business with, what you're looking for, but also the timescales and those objectives as they may come into fruition a little bit down the line rather than just at a book fair itself. Otherwise, we hope to see many of you in London in March for what should be a wonderful fair. We're very excited, and we're very excited to be working with MBT. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you, Mr. Nath. Now I request Ms. Elena Soli to give us a little overview.
Good morning. Thank you very much to the National Book Trust for inviting me to participate in this fair, and in particular in this event. The Bologna Children's Book Fair has celebrated last year the 60th anniversary, and I'm proud to say that I've been running it for more than 20 years, while I worked for that for 30 more or less. So I've seen it growing and growing along the years, but I can say that it hasn't changed from the first idea. The first idea was to have a real business place, a marketplace for copyright exchange. This is the reason why we have never admitted any general public in, and but also to be a place where illustrators and authors would feel welcome, and a place where new projects could be created. And for this reason, I have to say that we've really made big investments on our events and exhibition side. We have a huge part dedicated to illustration, and this is something that was crucial and strategic for us, because besides our activity in Bologna as the preeminent children's book fair, professional children's book fair, the exhibition of illustrations had helped us open up to the world with our activities, organizing exhibitions across 30 or 40 countries, and above all, being co-organizer and co-owner of the Shanghai International Children's Book Fair, that is now our sister fair on the other side of the world. The Bologna Children's Book Fair gathers more than 1,500 exhibitors from all over the world. More than 90 countries are represented, and India is a very good exhibitor country in Bologna. We have a number of Indian publishers, and I have to say that we really appreciate your children's books, because we have seen them grow not only in quantity but in quality. You have really wonderful and amazing book, and I'm so happy to see how some of your illustrators are now big stars in the world of children's publishing, and this is also the reason why we decided to participate in an active way in this fair. We have been doing grand tours across the world in the last 3 years after the pandemic, changing venues year by year. And this year we have included the New Daily Book Fair because of the importance of your children's publishing. And I'm very happy to see in our future even bigger collaboration. And I wish to thank you very much for the National Book Trust. And may I say in particular Kanchan, because actually we have been working for many months to get to here and to get to Bologna. But of course, many thank you to the director. And what can I say? We are very much looking forward to welcome all the professionals next April. I'm happy to say that we have a brand new Right Center this year. The Right Center has been part of the Bologna Book Fair since the very beginning, but now it has grown sharply, and it will be in a wonderful and new shape. And also, I'm very proud to say that during the pandemic actually was a very creative time for us. We had long thoughts and conversations in order to expand and explore new activities. And so we decided to start the Bologna Book Plus project, that is a special area dedicated to the general publishing. But I will give the floor afterwards to Jack, who's the guest director of Bologna Book Plus. And thanks to that also the Right Center increased, because it is open also to general publishing agents. And so we are very happy to open this year a new collaboration with the United Nations. We've been collaborating for the last years on the SDG Club. That's been a very important and interesting initiative focused on books for children, on sustainability, and on the goals on the 2030 agenda. And we will keep on doing that, focusing on sustainability and climate change. And again, we will have even more China next year at the book fair, because we will present a special exhibition on Chinese illustrators, and my hope is to be presenting very soon a special exhibition focused on Indian illustrators. So thank you very much. I hope to welcome you all in Bologna, April, from 8 to 11. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. So now I request Ms. Jax Thomas to share her views, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry, I had to have notes. So here I am. Can you see me over the laptop? Good morning, and thank you, National Book Trust, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Director, for inviting me to speak at this important event. I've been coming to the Delhi Book Fair for over a decade, and I consider myself privileged to witness the evolution of this huge event and the amazing development of the fairground itself. I certainly think that the impressive new buildings that comprise the home of the book fair are an apt metaphor for the Indian publishing industry, which is ever growing, modern, embracing of change, inclusive and outward looking. It is an honor to have a ringside seat to watch this change. As the newest kid on the book fair block, Bologna Book Plus, of which I'm proud to be guest director, offers general publishing a trading home nestled alongside and within the veteran, acclaimed and globally respected Bologna Children's Book Fair. Bologna is a name synonymous with style, substance and success. Bologna Book Plus adds to this mix with what I hope, I do not sound boastful in saying, has quickly established itself as an asset to the international publishing landscape, with obviously exhibiting options and a vibrant rights training program. We also offer the only literary agent training program in the world. A full lineup of seminars on pertinent industry issues, awards, design and illustration spotlights, and its own Limelight program, shining a light on a market of focus. With rights trading at the heart of everything we do within the general publishing arena, Bologna Book Plus are tickled pink to have announced a change and expansion to the suite of rights trading options at Bologna. As Elena has mentioned, what was known as the Literary Agents Rights Centre is now the Bologna Rights Centre, which has opened its doors to all rights professionals, not just literary agents. Although, as with other book fairs, you must have an exhibiting presence in order to qualify. Additionally, we are delighted to be partnering once again with FICI on a catalogue of Indian rights available, which we will be featuring at Bologna Book Plus once again this year, with distribution and a seminar showcasing the Indian market. So Bologna as a book fair celebrated its 60th birthday last year, an established and undisputed leader among book fairs, with an experienced doyen of the book fair world at the helm in the persona of Elena Pasoli. But I hope that I have demonstrated that the Bologna brand does not stand still. Like the publishing industry we serve, Bologna evolves and expands, and it is a pleasure to be part of its development, and to bring my experience of the wider general publishing world to it, and to welcome each and every one of you to participate and put India, its books, its authors, its publishers, and its copyright on the map. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Youngstone. Now I request our director, Sri Raj Malik, to kind of share his views.
Respected Chairman, National Book Trust Professor Milind Marathi, Mr. Gareth, Director of the London Book Fair, Ms. Alina, Director of Bologna Children's Book Fair, Ms. Jack Thomas, delegates from different countries and representative of the publishing scenario and publishing houses. I welcome you all to this wonderful edition of New Delhi Rights Table. I apologize, my throat is not well, but I need to struggle with it. It's a very special moment if you can see on the stage. Out of top 4 World Book Fair, 3 directors are sitting right here. It's a very interesting thing. Whether it's London Book Fair, they have double association, Bologna, Bologna Plus, of course New Delhi World Book Fair, and day before, you also had the CEO of the Frankfurt Book Fair also here. The idea is, why I'm saying it, when all the book fair come together, they collaborate with each other, they communicate with each other, and they do the content sharing, then the entire global publishing industry grows. You cannot grow in this field being in isolation, because the kind of content you need, the kind of dynamic inputs you need from this industry to be relevant, to keep going, you have to collaborate, you have to outreach. You have to really go for sharing. And the only way of sharing is translations. The only way of sharing is doing joint projects. The only way of sharing is global strategic collaborations, whether through book fair to book fair, author to author, publisher to publisher, illustrator to illustrator, or distributor to distributor. These kind of forums which we have, New Delhi Rights Table, is a great platform where 3 directors on the stage are here to invite you to their book fair and see what best they can offer. They have given you the first-hand view of their country, their publishing ecosystem, an open-ended invitation. Today they are here. I would like to be happily mention it here. Last year in Frankfurt Book Fair, it is the first time India has gone as a pavilion. Earlier we were going as publishers, but last year we have gone to Frankfurt as an industry, Indian publishing industry. We set up a pavilion, we set up the same kind of scenario, amenities were developed, and all my publishers of all bodies, whether private or the government, participated under one umbrella. That is a great beginning here. I'll happily going again with the same pretext to London Book Fair in the next month. And the collaboration which we started in Frankfurt on a scale of A has become 2 times within a year. Similarly, the beginning which we are making with London Book Fair is going to multiply, that I can assure from my industry. More than that, why two directors from Bologna Plus are here? It's another beginning in strategic partnership which we have started. They have got a team of authors, publishers, and especially world-class illustrators, which all of you must go and see next to the International Pavilion. World-class illustrators are there. You just see how we can have those beautiful imaginations being exchanged, being developed, or jointly developed. That is an opportunity for all of us. That era has gone that I will only work with a local illustrator or writer, publisher. We have to go global. Unless your content is global, you will not be relevant. Your market will be very, very small in size. Your scaling will be very, very reduced. And of course, financial viability is not going to be there. If you create a content that is globally accepted, then only we can do. And this is the platform where you will get it on. More than this, I have one more suggestions and request to all my Indian counterparts. Of course, we are doing one-to-one trade. We are doing a lot of collaborations. New Delhi World Book Fair is one of the most leading book fair in the B2C segment in the world. I don't think this kind of footfall scaling you can imagine anywhere in the world in B2C category. But the idea is when we are seeking collaborations, we have to understand if we go together as an industry, like we have an invitation from London Book Fair, we have invite from the Bologna Plus. We must plan in such a way that the build-up starts at least 3, 4, 5, 6 months before the event. 1 month before, nothing happens. We all as publisher industry, we have started that process, and I'll also request my counterparts here that for the upcoming event, we should immediately start tying up and so that we get a bigger delegation to represent out there and we have better participation. We also started one more concept of taking our New Delhi World Book Fair into state chapters. One chapter started was in Pune. I had 500,000 footfall in 9 days. I have tremendous sales, which I can't mention. Tremendous. Stocks were refilled twice every alternate days. That means there's growing demand in regional language also. There's a growing demand in regional market also. If we have a content and we can produce it to regional languages, for which many states are offering translation grants, especially in Tamil, Marathi, Kannada. These are the languages which Indian market are also having additional book space other than Hindi and English. So that is what we also need to explore, and more participation from regional publishers, not only this forum, but regional also. We also have Gomti Book Festival in Lucknow. We have Ujjain also. We have Shillong also. We also have a very big festival in Ladakh also, where we develop content in the regional languages. India is a land of multiple languages. That's how we have chosen a theme of multilingual India. More languages, more content, more translations, more exchange of rights, more business, more growth, and more responsible and creative citizens all across the world. That's how publishing is. We are just not commercial entity in publishing industry, as I have been saying. We are nation builder. We build citizens. We shape mind. We shape ideas. We create creativity. We create vision. We create ideas. And we, as the entire publishing industry, first feel that we are shaping the minds of the world, which is the most sensitive product. And with AI, it's a big challenge. Creation of an artist who's sitting and doing himself and a machine which is creating the same illustration, there will be a difference, which you can easily tell. They can create best technical designs, but there will not be the best emotions in them. They can only be produced by an original human illustrator only. End of the day, you can make a nuclear bomb, but it is a human being who triggers it. You can create best technology, but it is a human who controls it. As last night I also said in the morning in conference, AI is a product of human intelligence, not a vice versa. It's still artificial, produced by human only. So human will remain supreme. So are the illustrators, so are the content writers, so are the publishers, and so are the authors. Let's celebrate this festival of books and this opportunity, and we must explore opportunity. I wish you all a great collaboration, more partnership, good business, good deals, and of course, prosperity and happiness through books and power of words. Thank you so much, and happy reading.
Thank you so much, sir. I think now everyone has their meetings lined up. So thank you, guests on the dais. And we'll start with the rights table. The coffee is here in case people would like, and we start the meetings. Thank you so much.
Sir, vanakkam.